Greetings. Welcome to the first episode of League of Legends for the Win. This episode featuring AP Tryndamere. This episode will show you how to play AP Tryndamere, how to build AP Tryndamere, what runes to use, what masteries to use, and just in general, how to use AP Tryndamere. Alright, well, to start things off, you may be wondering, why AP Tryndamere? Well, AP Tryndamere is actually quite viable due to his heal ratios on his Q, and actually his harass on his E is pretty good. As you can see here, I made a pretty small pros and cons list to show you the general aspects of AP Tryndamere. You have a 1.5 AP ratio on your Q, meaning you don't even have to build Rage to use your Q effectively, and you have a 1-to-1 AP ratio on your E. Now keep in mind, his E does not decrease damage the more units he hits. If he keeps hitting, if he hits multiple people with it, it does full damage. So that's actually quite good in teamfights, as well as clearing minion waves. And as a bonus, his cooldown on that ability, his E, is actually reduced each time he scores a critical hit. And you don't need to build critical chance on him. The passive of his Q, or the Rage, or actually I think it's normal passive, it actually builds critical chance as you go. So you don't need to have any runes or anything like that for critical chance. The cons of AP Tryndamere is that he's weak early game, kind of falls off late game. His only real damaging mechanism is his E, and your teammates might not think you're being serious, so that actually can be a little annoying at times. Alright, to start things off, I'm going to show you guys the masteries that I use for AP Tryndamere. It's a pretty standard setup. It's a 9-0-21 setup for AP. It allows them to have lower cooldowns, more damage, and just makes them more effective. Most importantly, out of all these runes, it's probably the 20% buff duration increase, because really, if you're going to be spamming that E, you need to get that blue buff. Alright, moving on, we're going to take a look at the runes I use. As you can see, these are actually the runes I use for Vladimir, because I was too lazy to make my own page for Tryndamere. I do have 13 rune pages, but yeah, that was just too much effort. Anyways, it works pretty well. You can see I have 8.5 magic penetration, 3.5% increase in max health, 4.5% movement speed, which is really important actually, and 11 ability power, 2.8 armor, I believe. Yeah, movement speed is probably the most handy out of all the runes I use in this page, just because if you're going to be harassing with Tryndamere, it's actually quite dangerous, because the only way you're going to be harassing them is with your E. And doing so will actually usually put you kind of in reach of them, which is kind of a risky situation. So you want to get as much movement speed as possible to kind of counteract that danger. The least important one is probably the max health. It's not bad, it's just not really built for Tryndamere per se. Like I said, it's specifically designed for Vladimir for this page, but you know, you could feel free to replace that with anything that would work better than that, especially something like mana regen, as you're going to be using a lot of mana for that E. And finally, we're going to be moving on into some real game footage, and I'll be showing you how AP Tryndamere works out in-game.
This'll be a slaughter!
Alright, well, to start things off, I get my first kill as the two enemies find a Mumu in our jungle. It doesn't turn out to work too well for them, though, as basically they focus a Mumu, our tank, at that, and I'm able to pick up Singed. Zero comes to help us, and we're actually able to grab Nasus. Fortunately, I don't get that kill, but Zero does, so it still works out alright. Here I show you how E works as a movement tool as opposed to just a damaging tool. I use that in combination with Flash to be able to escape a 3-man gank from LeBlanc, Singe, and come out okay. Alright, well, at this point in the game, I'm already fed 4-0. I'm wrecking the top turret when bot decides that, hey, this Tryndamere's fed, we gotta do something about this. So both Tryndamere both Caitlyn and Volibear decide to pay me a visit. Volibear comes up, flashes, uses his Q to try to grab me, but I say nope, and just laugh in his face, let him take a few of those tower hits. As he retreats, I press my W to add insult to injury. Not only that, Singe comes in, he slows me. All of them decide, hey, let's take this turret. They just trade hits, but literally, they're doing nothing to this turret. You do have to be careful, however. With all that sustain, you might get a little greedy, think you can survive things you can't. As you can see here, I E into their wraiths, and then Volibear and Caitlyn find me. I make the mistake of thinking, oh, I can just tank all this and press my ultimate. I don't even use my flash, I just use my E and take Caitlyn's ult to my face. Alright, here you can see how well that ability power Lichbane really works out. I do 441 damage to that turret, and at this point there's really nothing that Volibear can do to stop me, but he comes up anyways, tries to damage me down, but I just use my Q and my E to get away from him. Yeah, he flashes after me, stands there, does nothing, puts me behind him. I don't know what he's trying to accomplish here, but I just E over the wall, get away like nothing happened, and then realize, hey, all the enemies are missing, I should probably juke them. So I go back around, actually use my E to get over the wall, flash over that wall, and then Caitlyn, I believe, uses her net or something to get around, because you see here, but I pop my laugh, walk away, nothing even happened, I am A-okay. AP Tryndamere really does excel in farming. As you can see here, I build up quite a bit of AP, I press E, and all the minions just melt away here. It's like, seriously, you just get rid of them so quickly. You can really get gold fast with AP Tryndamere, as long as you find these waves, as long as you clear the neutral camps. Just press E, you hit your Lichbang on the strong monsters, and you'll be getting tons of CS in no time. Me and my team finally wrap up the game as the enemies surrender with a 4-1 vote, giving me the victory as AP Tryndamere. Alright guys, well that finishes up the AP Tryndamere guide slash tutorial slash gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really did put effort into this one compared to my other videos like the AD Sona. It was fun making it. But yeah, like I said, it was a lot of work, so I'd really sincerely appreciate it if you guys put a like, if you like it, if you tell your friends, or whatever. I would just really like the feedback. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.